Hello, how are you? This is Els coming to you from Bemis Crafty Corner, and today I have a quick project for us. It's kind of cute. It's this little one right here, and it has just a little, tab hold closure here, and you've got a pocket here and a pocket here, and we open this one up, and you've got a pocket here and a pocket here, and there's a pocket on the back. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets, and if you wanted to, you can put another one here to make 6 out of a single envelope. One envelope. So I am going to get all of our supplies together and let you know what we're going to need for this one, and we are going to get started making this little pocket enclosure out of an envelope. I'll be right back. Okay, what are we going to need? Paper, envelopes, the long kind, that's an obvious. A couple of clips could be helpful here. If you don't have this kind of clip, that's okay. You can use this kind of clip, or a chip bag clip, or you could use, clothespins, paper clips, whatever you have, okay? Circle punch, about a 1 inch is good for this, 1 1/4. Scoring tools, a pencil, pair of scissors, a ruler, ink, dauber, paper trimmer, and glue. That basically covers everything. Okay, so let me get some stuff moved. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is the envelope. And I'm going to use one of these parchment envelopes for this one. And we're just going to put it in our scoreboard on the front of the envelope. Doesn't matter if the flap's up or down. We're going to score this at 3 inches. Then we're going to turn it around and score it 3 inches on the other side. Okay? Then fold and burnish the scores. Make sure you get it all nice and lined up. All right. Do the other side. Like that. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of cutting on here, so go ahead and get out your scissors, and I'll be right back to show you what we're going to cut and where. Okay, so we're going to open this up, and we are going to cut out this score line on the inside of the envelope. Okay, so I'm going to cut right down this side of the score line on the pocket side, this side, and then I'm going to cut down this side, and then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. So I'm going to cut on either side of the score line. Okay, and then I'm going to flip these out and cut them off. Alright, so now I have a flap that comes down and 2 open pockets, and then I have this big piece at the top. So the next thing I'm going to do is the same thing up here. I'm going to cut out up to that score line, and then cut up to the score line. Okay, so I have 3 flaps up here, flap down here, and this is open. All right, so now that we have that, See where this is coming up? Glue it down. Both sides. Okay? Then you're going to glue your flap on the outside down. So we're going to put glue on the outside flap here. We don't want to glue that area, so be mindful. We're going to glue that flap down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Don't worry about that. We'll trim that later. So we're going to put some glue over on this side. We're going to glue this one down. Okay? Now, we're going to get out our trimmer. And we're going to trim just a scant bit off the top of this envelope. Just a little bit. Okay, just a thin line. But we have, in essence, released this and opened all of this up. Okay? Okay, so we're going to create, let me open this one. We're going to create these little pockets. All right? So, in order to do this, we have to do some cutting. So what we're going to do is take our ruler and we're going to come up, flip this down. We're going to come up 2 inches. We're going to put a little mark here. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing on this side. And then I'm just going to put a line from that mark right there to my corner. And that is going to be my cut line. So from that 2-inch mark to the corner. Okay? Now once I have that on there, then I can use my scissors to cut that off. We're going to save that. We have a purpose for it. Yes, we do. Okay. So now I have 2 pockets here and a pocket here. What we're going to do is we're going to take this one and we're going to turn in about a 1/2 inch. Okay? You don't have to score this. It's not important. We're just going to put in about a 1/2 inch right there. And we're going to glue that down. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we have pocket, 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 flap, flap, and we're ready to go. So now we're going to ink. You're going to ink all the way around the outside, front and back. Ink your seams here. You're going to ink this, your pockets, everything. If it's an edge on this one, ink it. Okay? So we're going to ink all of this. And then we're going to come back because we're going to start cutting some stuff. Now, see this here? All right, so we're inked all around the outside, all along my edges, in my folds. We are inked everywhere. Okay? So now we're going to do some measuring. So let's measure the height of the envelope because that's going to be a big one. So it's 4 inches. So if we take that off, it's going to be 3 3/4. So let me get my pad. So it's 3 3/4 by, let's measure this back, which is just at 3 1/2, so 3 1/4. That means this is going to be about 3 1/8. And then we'll measure our height. which is 2 7/8, so 2 5/8. And now, here's the thing. This measurement is going to be the same as this one. So we're going to need 2 of those. And then the next 4 measurements are all the same. So this is 3 inches. So 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And you need 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, if you want to add the extra pocket over here, you know, the extra corner pocket, you can put one on either side if you want to. But if you want to add this extra corner pocket in, then you need to cut a scrap that's going to be big enough to cover this. And so you're going to need a piece that is at least 3 by 2. Okay. And if you're using this one, then you'll need 2 of those. And this piece, you're going to fold this in half, glue it, and you're going to glue a scrap of paper to this, okay? So we're going to fold it in half, glue it together, and then when that's dry, we're going to glue on a scrap of our top paper so that we have the piece that we need to close it. Okay, so now we have all of our measurements. We're going to cut some paper. I'll be right back as soon as I get that all taken care of. So 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, 1 piece that's 3 1/8 by 2 5/8, 4 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then 1 piece of 3 by 2 for the wedge. Okay, so I will be right back as soon as I get those cut. Alright, so we have all of our pieces cut, and I have them kind of laid out where they go. So at this point, it's just a matter of, you know, getting some ink on. So we'll get some ink on these. And then we'll get them glued down. Now, if you like that look, you know, the rounded corners, you can certainly do that. I just think on this project it's not really important. And of course you can use tape to put this on if you want to, because it's not a stress area. This is purely decorative. So if you wanted to use tape to attach this, you could. So just mind your 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Glue that down. And then I like the idea of the contrast in the color on the front. And I'll show you in a second what I mean. So I like the idea of this contrast on the front here. So that's why I'm using a piece of pink on this side. And again, I'm just going to glue this down. Minding my 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Alright, now these 2 pieces we're going to set to the side. Okay, we'll worry about those in a minute. Those are the ones that go on these 2 pockets. So we're going to do this pocket. Now if you want to put a thumb pull on here, you could certainly do that. That's entirely up to you. And the only reason that we folded this over was to add a little strength here to the top. So by all means, if you want to add the thumb pull there, you can certainly do that. Just remember to re-ink. Okay? It's time to get a new inking pad because mine is just falling apart. All right, so I got my 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then I'm going to flip this down and glue this piece down before I create my pocket. And then to create my pocket, I'm just going to put a thin line of glue along my edge here and over here. And then I'm just going to fold this up. My bone folder here. I'm just going to press that down on both sides, right along that edge. So now I have my pocket here. Now, these inside. This is a little bit tricky to get this in here. So you're definitely going to have to use glue for this because it's going to be really hard to get tape out of there. So we're going to put glue on this. And then to get this in, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the pocket and try to stay as up in the air as we can until we've got it set here and here, and then put it down. Okay? We'll do the same thing on the other side. Don't pull too much or you'll tear the pocket here on the side. But, you know, just pull it up enough, get your finger in there enough to separate that down to the corner. Okay, now the second one is a little trickier. I'll tell you why. Because you want to make sure that you keep a nice line across. And see, I have this one lined up with this one, so I'm going to line this one up with this one. So I'm going to open that up, put this in, make sure I got my line going here. And then I'm going to put that down. Alright, so now for these, we're going to turn these back to back. We want to make sure that the pattern's in the right direction. We're going to put this in. We're going to line it up on our piece that is existing in there. And you can do this with one. You don't have to put both of them in here, but. And then I'm going to draw a line right here. Okay, I'm going to take those out, and then I'm going to cut this 1/8 of an inch below that line. That's my starting point. Okay, and then I'm going to take that and fit it and see if it fits, and it fits beautifully. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this. And like I said, you can do this with one or you can do it with both. It's up to you. I just like to do it both at the same time, and that way I have, you know, they're together the whole time. I know that I've got it right. And again, not a stress area, so if you want to put tape on it, be my guest. then I'm going to put this one on the other side. Ink first. I always forget that step. Okay, so now we're going to turn it over, and we have one more piece of paper that's going to go on the back here. Where is it? There it is. So here's our piece for the back. So we're going to ink this up. And we're going to add some glue. Put that down. Okay, then one of those pieces that we cut off, remember that piece from the pocket that we put in half? I'm going to put this piece that was off the corner, I'm going to glue this on here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to glue it on there, and then I'm just going to let that dry. Okay? Now, if I want to put a pocket on here, I can do so. We're going to use fancy measuring. Now, you could use a scrap piece of paper if you wanted to make this pocket deeper, but I don't see any reason to do that. But it's entirely up to you. If you want to make it, you know, like a deeper pocket, you could do that. Ink. So I'm going to ink this. And of course, you know, you can always use that other piece that you cut off, you know, one of those, and you can make like a slash pocket. That's entirely up to you as well. But I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we're allowing the inside to dry a little bit before we go back in and do that last one. So there's that. And we're going to put that on there. And then we're going to open this up, and we're going to do a small flash right here. And I think I'm going to do this one in the pink. Do a little bit of ink on that. And you certainly don't have to add these extra pockets if you don't want to. I'm doing it because I want to use as much of the envelope as possible, and as many of my small scraps as I can. So I'll take this, put it on here, just like that. Ink this a little bit. And then I'm going to glue this right there. Alright, so now we're letting everything dry. We're going to do the closure. So let me get this stuff out of the way. We're going to get this. This is that piece that we've glued from the inside flap and that extra scrap. And all we're going to do is punch a hole, punch a circle. Okay, and like I said, this is a 1-inch circle. You could use like 1 1/4 if you want to, whatever size you want to use. And then I'm just going to cut off about, I don't know, about a third of it. Just about a third. And I'm going to put some glue on the edge here. And then I'm going to take this. Oops, forgot to ink it. I'm going to carefully ink all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the middle here, right on that edge. Okay, and then I'm going to put a clamp or two on here just to hold this in place, to secure it up, and I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to get out some, some tags and things that I want to put in here, and I will be right back and we'll decorate it up and take a look at our finished piece. I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. So here's our little closure, and it just basically just, a piece of paper that just holds that down, and then when you want to just tuck it back in, you just kind of pull back on this part and slide it under. So that's our inside, and I put 2 little journaling cards over on this side, and then we'll put a little tag here with a flower. And I added this little tuck spot right here, just because I wanted to break up this green. And then we have our little banner tag here that I just added some organza ribbon to. And then I made this tiny little tag with just, a fussy cut from the paper. It's here someplace. No idea, but it's a fussy cut from the paper, and I just added a little pink top to it there and some fuzzies and a little teeny tiny baby 1/8 of an inch eyelet right there, and that just fits in that little pocket right there. And then we can close this up and go around the back, and we have this little tag here that we need to finish the top of, and I didn't finish this one because I wanted to talk about that. So this is one of those things with a tag punch where it punches the top. And so it's an odd size. You really can't put an eyelet in there. It's too big for an eyelet. So generally with this, what I would do is I would use, grab it. I would use this. And this is a 1/2 inch circle. And I would punch a couple of pieces either out of the paper or, out of a different paper. And for this one, I think I'm going to use these. This is just a way to fix this because a lot of them do this. They have the hole already in it, but it's not set to a size that we actually use. So I would just put some glue on this and cover that hole evenly. And then go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And then give it a second to dry, and then you can go through this with your hole punch and set an eyelet in here, and then put in some ribbon or lace of your choice. So giving it a second to set up. Go ahead and poke a new hole. In the eyelet. And we fix that one. And then just a little bit of trim on it, and it's ready to go. So let me grab let's find to see if we can find a piece here that will work. It's not perfect, but it'll work. It's for demonstration purposes only. Okay. And then that fits right in there. That's it. That's my little project for today. An envelope and some paper. That's it. Well, if you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, share me with all your friends. Then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant crafting community. I go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 11, 12, and 1 across the country. 8 a.m. over in Hawaii. I post videos on Mondays and Wednesdays, and any other time I feel like it. I have two things going on in 2022, the first of which is my 12 of 22, hashtag 12 of 22 journal challenge. And that is 12 topics or themes or styles throughout the year, one a month. And if you'd like more information to participate in that, go ahead and go into the description box below. You'll see a link there. Just click that link. It'll take you to a slideshow that will give you all of the information that you need to participate. And the second thing is my free classes of 2022, which are basically basic classes. They're basic starter classes on how to build a journal, different types and styles of journals, and some other, necessary skills. So that's it. That's all I have for you. Until I see you again, stay well. Bye-bye.